Hello, hello, and welcome back to my bookshelves. They are officially set up. All my books are on here. All my figures are on here. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a tour because I didn't really do that in my video setting everything up. And if you didn't see that video, that was my last video, so you should definitely watch it. But I'm really satisfied with what it looks like now. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of them and like what they look like. We'll start with this shelf and then we'll go to the other one. So we have the first shelf. This is my horror shelf. So I have some CJ Lead here, T. Kingfisher. This is, I always forget the name of Sworn Soldier. There we go. The Sworn Soldier series. And then a few other I have two Stephen Graham Jones, but the rest of it is just like one-offs from different horror authors. And then I also have this water bottle that one of my friends gave me years and years and years ago. And I was actually using it as a water bottle at one point. I stopped using it as a water bottle and I started wanting to use it as decoration. And then my dad had got me these flowers that are in there. So I was like, oh, that would be cute. So I put them together. And then I have a few Hironos, I think is how they're pronounced. So I have a Plague Doctor one, a Grim Reaper one, and a vampire one. And I wanted him right by Buffalo Hunter Hunter because that's a vampire novel. And I just thought that that would be really cute to have him right in front of that book. But yeah, this is the horror shelf. This is the very top one. And then we can go into the second shelf. And I have all of my Emily Henry. This is now going into romance, which is funny from horror to romance. But some of the horror overlaps into romance. Like all the CJ Lead has romance in it. I have all of Emily Henry's books in order of publishing. And then here is also do I want to take this out? I guess I will. I'll show you guys. I have this special edition of Beach Read. Beach Read is my favorite one of Emily Henry's books. So I was like, I kind of need this. This was I got this back when I used to shop at Target. Fuck Target. But back when I used to shop at Target, I bought this and I'm absolutely obsessed. So I just leave the sprayed edges to be seen because I just think that they're absolutely beautiful. And it goes all the way to the inside. So I absolutely love this. I think it's so pretty. So I wanted to display it like that. So that's that. And then I have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I don't have the other books. I think, have I read the whole series? I'm pretty sure I have read everything. I have read everything, but I just don't own all of the books yet. I have Babel, and then I have Catabasis, which also absolutely beautiful, but I think the sprayed edges are so nice that I also have this facing outward. You know, there's some authors that really have nice sprayed edges, and then there's other ones that are fine, just a solid color. I'm not gonna take Buffalo Hunter Hunter out, but that one is just solid red. So there's no need to display that because it's not really that interesting, but these two are really nice. This is a snow globe. I'm used to really, I guess you could argue I'm still kind of into skulls and stuff, but when I was younger, I was really into that stuff. So I had a bunch of different skull stuff, but this is the only one that I kept. Everything else I got rid of because I still absolutely adore this. I got this from Marshall's just at random. But I felt like it just fit because some of these are, at least what's right here, I guess you could argue is darker, romance, fantasy adjacent stuff. So I figured that it was cute to be here. And then I have this skull panda, I think they're called. And I just have her here as well. This is the only outlier, technically. So this is, I believe, romantasy. Don't get me too much on genres. So sorry if any of these genres aren't actually what I think they are. This is the only YA book for my adult shelf. And it's just purely because I didn't technically have space for it on my YA shelf. So I wanted to still display it, so it's here. But once I get other adult romance books that I feel kind of fit in this, then I'm gonna move that over to the other shelf. It might just end up being behind some of the other books, but that's okay. But yes, this is my first adult romance shelf, and then we go into the second adult romance shelf. This is a little bit more miscellaneous because I don't have so much consistency with adult authors except for Casey McQuiston. I have 3 of their books here, and then I have another one, their YA, over on the YA shelf. But yeah, these are also a bunch of adult romance books that I really enjoyed. These are all like Black romance, and then these are, I think, no, I still have 2 more Black romance here. 3 actually. I'm a liar. Yeah, 3 more Black romance, but most of this is white romance. So, you know, these are all the rest of my adult romance. I have a few like at the very, very bottom. This is the rest of what's like technically displayed on the shelf. And then the last shelf that you guys can actually see is my translated fiction. I kind of wanted to put it somewhat in order, or at least kind of, I shouldn't really say in order, kind of like grouped together in some way. So I have like Palestinian fiction, then I have some like Korean fiction, a lot of Korean fiction, some Japanese fiction, and then All Might in the middle, which this was an accident that I got him this big, but that doesn't even matter. But I have All Might in the middle, and then he separates from like all the translated fiction to my manga, and then also to Chinese graphic novels. Eventually I'm gonna have to move these out, and they're gonna have to go onto my dresser once The Summer Hikaru Died is finished. And also I'm thinking about I wanted to get the one with Yoshiki on it, which is the 2nd volume, but I don't think I'm gonna go past the 2nd volume of the light novel. It just doesn't, it's the same story, so it doesn't really seem necessary to have all of the manga and then also to have all of that as well. I have all of my nonfiction on the bottom shelf. So I have starting off with some memoirs and then just going into like regular nonfiction. And then we actually go into, we go into poetry, and then we go into classics, because I have a handful of all of these. So I figured I'd just put them all together. Yeah, we have some classics standing up, and then the books that are laying down are also classics. And then I have some JJK, 2 JJK look-up figures and a JJK Funko Pop there. And then at the very bottom on the floor is all of the romance books that I've like given 3 stars or less to, that I just didn't like as much as the ones that are actually displayed. So that's everything for the first shelf. We can now move on to the second shelf. So on the top of the second shelf, this is also kind of like a miscellaneous shelf as well. It starts off just with a few of my thrillers, because I don't really read thrillers anymore, so I don't have that many. And then it goes into some of like my historical fiction, and then we go into like sci-fi and sci-fi adjacent. I guess they're all really sci-fi, like everything from here on. And then I also have Project Hail Mary and The Martian here, and sitting on top of the Martian book is the popcorn bucket from the Regal Theater when I went to go and see Project Hail Mary. Like, why do I have this hung up plastic? I don't know, but it looks cute up here, so whatever. And then also on top of the Martian is my tiny little Rengoku sleeping figure that one of my friends got me, so that's sitting up there. And next we have my YA romance. So this actually takes up 2 shelves because I love YA romance so much that it needed to have like a real section. So first we start off with all of my Joya Goffney books. I absolutely love Joya Goffney. She's one of my favorite YA authors. She's just so talented. Her stories are so good. They're so compelling. I absolutely adore her. And on top of her books, I have all of my little Sony Angels. These are the only ones that I have. I like them, but I don't like them enough to truly be a collector. But I really loved the Valentine's Day series. This was like this past February, I think. And I got all of the ones that I wanted. I was really fortunate in the fact that I was working at a store that sold them. So I was kind of able to like, not really buy them out, but I was able to buy more than like a regular customer was able to buy. Like technically regular customers could only buy 1 a day, but I was able to buy all 3 in one day. So those are all of them. And then I have just a few more of my YA romance. These are like some of my favorite ones. This one, that's kind of a lie. This one I don't love as much as the other ones, and not really anything to this one. I just didn't necessarily vibe with this one as much. However, can I take this out just to show y'all real quick? One of the babies fell. This one's just beautiful. Like, it's just stunning. So I just felt like I needed to display this. So that's why it's still like up at the top, or like I should say displayed with the other ones, just purely because I couldn't not do that. It's too pretty. Even the spine of it, I think, is too pretty. So I had to display it. But yeah, these are the rest of them. And then I also have this little Emma figure. Yeah, this I also got from a job that I used to work at because we sold some blind boxes. And I think she's very adorable. So I sat her right there. And then on the next YA shelf, we have mainly books that are a little bit darker, but then we do also have all of Heartstopper. Could Heartstopper technically go up here and The Joy of Gotham come down here? Maybe, but I didn't want to move this other Alice Oseman that I have here, so it just has to stay because of that. I just want all of that together. But this has more like series on it, and they happen to just be darker. So I have This Rasmus Face and Our Vicious Descent. This was really, really good, so I had to display this. And then I have Six of Crows, the Belladonna series, and then here are just like 2 one-offs. And I also have with Cindy, her book. Now, I didn't love this, and you'll get my thoughts on this at a later date, but this is literally one of the prettiest like YA books that I've ever seen. This is another situation where absolutely stunning sprayed edges, so that's also why I have it like facing outward. So although I'm not like a huge fan of this book, and I didn't think particularly highly of it, it's still stunning. So it's kind of beautiful. It's kind of giving beautiful gowns, but that's okay. Last but not least, I do also have Radio Silence, and then all of the Heartstopper series, which I'm so glad has, I was gonna say I'm so glad it's come to a conclusion, but that sounds like I was like hoping for it to end. I'm glad that I own all of the books and I was able to like see the story through. But that's it for all of the books, and then I have a few figures on here. I forget what they're called. I don't remember what he's called, and I only have one of them, and he's so dusty, but I absolutely love him. And then I have 2 Peach Riot figures that I think are very, very cute. I don't remember what series they're from, but I absolutely love them, and that's why I placed them on here. And for the next shelf, this is pretty much all of just my lit fit, and maybe some things that probably can fall into like other categories too, but I'm gonna call them literary fiction. So I have just a few of, again, my favorites are displayed. I don't really think I even have, I guess at the very bottom, I have ones that I'm kind of like lukewarm on, but mostly I absolutely adore all of these books, and I've given them, I think maybe except for Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, I don't know if I've given this 4 stars. I feel very conflicted about this book, and if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this book and all of Sally Rooney's work, I did make a video on all of Sally Rooney's work. It's a year old now, which is crazy, but you can definitely watch that. I think it's a good video, but I do have this here, even though Sally Rooney be stressing me out. And then I also have Haw Baby here, The Bee Sting, which I've raved ad nauseum about. This book, The Death of Vivek OG. Again, I love this book, but it's a lot. Have some of my Claire Keegan, some Ocean Vuong, and Stag Dance, My Friends, Family Lore. Some really good stuff on the shelf. Really love this. As far as like books wise goes, this is probably going to be my second favorite next to the horror shelf. But again, really, really love all of these books. And then at the end, I just have 2 of my Black Clover Funko Pops. And at the very bottom, I have just a handful of, like a handful more of my literary fiction that I just didn't want to also put on this shelf. It could fit, but then I would kind of have nothing to put at the bottom shelf. And I read a lot of literary fiction, so I'm definitely gonna have more to put there, but I just don't have all of it now. So I have just 4 books there, and most of this is just like figures and displays. So I have 2 figures at the bottom. They're on top of the books. Another little Hirono, a Hunter x Hunter Funko Pop, and then my partner's unfinished Book Nook little display thingy that we've had for like 2 years, and he has not finished it. But that's it for that shelf. And then at the very bottom on the floor, I have the one middle grade book that I own, which is The Wild Robot, which I read purely because I absolutely loved the movie. and it made me cry, and I thought it was so good. So I was like, why not? I'll read the source material because I'm always willing to read the source material. So I read the book and I own it now. And I also have all of the Hunger Games, which I've never read any of them. Never read any of them. Have all 5 of the books. Haven't read any of them. Am I going to read them? I don't know, but they sit on the floor for now until I hopefully one day eventually have the desire to read all of them. But that is it. Those are my shelves. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't, watch my last video of setting everything up. I think you'll enjoy that too if you enjoyed this one. Give the video a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.